Imagine this. It is a Tuesday morning. You walk to your mailbox like you always do. Between the grocery flyer and the electric bill, there is a letter from the Social Security Administration. You open it, and your stomach drops. The letter says you were overpaid, maybe by $3,000, maybe by $8,000. And if you do not respond, Social Security will take half of your monthly check, not 10%, not 20%, 50%, gone, automatically. You rush to your computer to log into your Social Security account, but the old username and password you have used for years does not work anymore. It has been shut off. The system now demands something called Login.gov. You try to set it up, but you cannot get past the identity verification. You call the 800 number. You wait and wait. You drive to the local field office, and the person behind the counter tells you they cannot help you with Login.gov. This is not a hypothetical. This is happening to real people right now, in 2026, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly what is going on, why it is happening, and the 3 steps you must take to protect yourself. I am Milena. I am a senior policy analyst, and I help retirees understand the rules that affect their money, their benefits, and their peace of mind. Now I want you to take a breath, because I know that opening scared you. It was supposed to, because this situation is serious. But here's what I need you to hear. You are not powerless. There are official legal protections that exist specifically for you. The problem is that almost nobody is explaining them clearly. That is what this video is for. I am going to break down the 2 crises hitting seniors at the same time: the overpayment clawback and the Login.gov lockout. I will show you the exact government forms that protect you, and I will give you 3 concrete steps to take this week. But please stay with me until the end of this video, because there is one mistake I see seniors make over and over again, and it is the single fastest way to lose half of your Social Security check with no warning. I will explain what that mistake is in just a few minutes. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 68 years old. He retired 2 years ago after 31 years as a maintenance supervisor for a school district. He earned a modest pension, and he started collecting Social Security at 66. Robert did everything right. He filed on time. He set up direct deposit. His check arrived on the 2nd Wednesday of every month like clockwork, $2,040. That check, plus his small pension, covered his mortgage, his medication, his groceries. Then, in the fall of 2025, Robert received a letter from the SSA. It said he had been overpaid by $6,200. The letter said this happened because of a recalculation related to the Social Security Fairness Act, which changed the rules about pensions and Social Security. Robert had received a lump sum, back payment earlier that year. Now the SSA was saying part of it was an error. Robert read the letter. He was confused. He did not understand why the number was so high. And honestly, the letter was dense, full of legal language and codes. So Robert did what a lot of people do. He put the letter on the kitchen counter. He told himself he would deal with it later. 90 days passed. Robert never called. He never filed a form. And then one morning he checked his bank account, and his Social Security deposit was only $1,020, half, gone, automatically. Robert panicked. He called the SSA. He waited 40 minutes on hold. When he finally reached someone, they told him, "You did not respond to the notice within the allowed window. The withholding has started. You can still file a request to lower the rate, but the 50% deduction is already in effect." Robert's story is not unusual. This is happening to thousands of seniors right now. And the most heartbreaking part? Robert had every legal right to fight that notice. He could have appealed. He could have requested a waiver. He could have asked for a lower repayment rate, but he did not know, and nobody told him. Until now. So let me tell you. Part A. The Overpayment Clawback. What it is and how it got here. An overpayment, according to the Social Security Administration's own website, is simply when you receive more money from them than you should have. That is their definition. It can happen because of a change in your income, your marital status, your living situation, or your work activity that was not reported. But here is what a lot of people do not realize. It can also happen because of an error made by the SSA itself. Now, this policy has changed 3 times in just over a year, and that is part of why it is so confusing. In March of 2024, the SSA set the default recovery rate at just 10% of your monthly benefit. That meant if you were overpaid, they would only take back 10% email each month, manageable for most people. Then, in March of 2025, the SSA announced they were jumping that rate all the way to 100%. Your entire check stopped until the debt was repaid. There was a massive public outcry from AARP, from members of Congress, from seniors across the country. So in April of 2025, the SSA reversed course again. They issued an emergency internal policy known as Emergency Message EM25029 and set the new default at 50%. 50%. That is where we are today. If you receive an overpayment notice and you do not respond, the SSA will automatically begin taking half of your monthly check after approximately 90 days. For the average retiree in 2026, that means losing about $1,035 a month. For someone living on a fixed income, that is catastrophic. And I need to be very clear about something. Even if the overpayment was the SSA's mistake, they are still legally required to try to recover the money. The law does not say, oh, it was our error, so forget about it. It says they must collect. Your protection is not that they will forgive it automatically. Your protection is that you have the right to ask for forgiveness through an official process, and I will explain exactly how in a moment. Part B, the Login.gov. Lockout. What it is and why it matters now. Here is where the second crisis makes the first one worse. On June 7, 2025, the Social Security Administration shut down the old username and password system that millions of people had been using for years. From that date forward, the only way to access your My Social Security account online is through Login.gov or ID.me. Now, if you already set up Login.gov or ID.me and it is working, you are fine. But for many seniors, this transition has been a nightmare. People cannot get past the identity verification. They cannot receive verification codes because their phone number on file is outdated. They get locked out and cannot get back in. On March 12, 2026, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal sent an official letter to the head of the SSA and the General Services Administration. I want to read you his exact words because they are important. He wrote, I have heard from many constituents who report being unable to access their accounts, update contact information, or complete identity verification. When seeking assistance in person, they are often told SSA staff cannot resolve Login.gov verification issues or update account credentials. These barriers disproportionately affect elderly individuals, people with disabilities, and those with limited digital literacy. That is a United States Senator confirming what so many of you have been experiencing. And it gets worse. The SSA lost approximately 7,000 employees in 2025, about 12% of its entire workforce, due to budget cuts. Field offices are understaffed. Phone lines are stretched. People who were moved to phone duty often were not fully trained for those roles. So here is the problem laid bare. A senior gets an overpayment notice. They need to respond. They try to log in online. They cannot. They call the 800 number. They wait. They go to the field office. The staff says they cannot fix the Login.gov problem, and the 90-day clock keeps ticking. That is the nightmare scenario, and it is real. But now, I need to tell you the most important thing in this entire video. Your checks do not stop because of Login.gov. The SSA has officially confirmed this, and I quote directly from their website. People will continue to receive their benefits on schedule to the bank account information in Social Security's records without needing to prove identity. Let me say that again. You do not need Login.gov or ID.me to keep receiving your monthly check. Your current benefits will continue to deposit into your current bank account. If anyone tells you otherwise, or if you receive a text or an email saying your benefits will be suspended unless you verify your identity, that is a scam. The SSA will never contact you by text to verify your identity. That is directly from ssa.gov. The Login.gov account is required for managing things online, like changing your direct deposit, filing a new claim, or checking your benefit statement. It does not control whether your existing check arrives, so please do not panic about Login.gov and your current payments. But do understand that if you need to make changes or fight an overpayment notice, the lockout creates a real barrier. So here is exactly what I need you to do. 3 steps. Write these down if you can. Step 1. Open every letter from the SSA immediately and check the date. I know it is overwhelming. I know the language is confusing. But the single biggest mistake you can make, the one that Robert made, is setting that letter aside and thinking you will deal with it later. Every overpayment notice comes with a clock. You have approximately 90 days to respond before the automatic 50% withholding kicks in. But the SSA's own website recommends acting within 30 days for maximum protection. So the moment you receive a notice, note the date on the letter. That is your deadline. Step 2. File the right form based on your situation. You have 3 options, and each one pauses the collection while the SSA reviews your request. If you believe you were not overpaid or if the amount is wrong, file Form SSA 561. That is a request for reconsideration. You are telling the SSA, I disagree with this and I want you to look again. If you agree the overpayment happened, but it was not your fault and you cannot afford to pay it back, file Form SSA 632BK. That is a request for waiver. You are asking the SSA to forgive the debt entirely. And here is something most people do not know. If the overpayment is $1,000 or less, you do not even need to fill out the form. You can request the waiver by simply calling 1-800-772-1213. And if you agree you owe the money and you are willing to pay it back, but 50% of your check is too much, file Form SSA 634. That is a request for change in overpayment recovery rate. The SSA can lower your monthly repayment to an amount you can actually handle, sometimes as low as $10 a month. All 3 of these forms can be downloaded from ssa.gov or picked up at your local field office. You can submit them online if you have access, by mail or in person. Chakrakras. Step 3. Set up your Login.gov or ID.me account before you need it. Do not wait until you are in an emergency to try to figure out the system. Do it now while things are calm. Go to ssa.gov, chop My Account, choose either Login.gov or ID.me. Have your driver's license or passport ready. Have your phone nearby. The process usually takes 10 to 15 minutes. If you cannot set it up on your own, ask a trusted family member, a grandchild, a neighbor, or even your local library. Many libraries offer free help with government websites, and if you truly cannot create an account, know your backup options. You can call 1-800-772-1213 Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can visit your local Social Security office, which you can find at ssa.gov locator. And for direct deposit changes specifically, you can also work directly with your bank to set that up. Now listen. I need to be honest with you about something. These rules change fast. What I told you today is accurate as of right now, April 2026. But over the past 14 months alone, the overpayment rate went from 10% to 100% to 50%. The login system changed completely. Phone verification rules were rewritten twice. And every single time one of these changes happened, millions of seniors were caught off guard. Not because they were careless, but because nobody told them in time. That is why I created this channel. And that is why I am asking you right now, if this video helped you, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, the moment a new rule drops, you will hear about it from me, in plain language, before it costs you money. But I also want you to know that YouTube notifications are not always reliable. Sometimes they are delayed. Sometimes they do not come through at all. And when it comes to your Social Security, your pension, your Medicare, you cannot afford to miss an alert. That is why I have set up the Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. When you click the link in the description below this video, you can join for free. Inside that channel, you will receive real-time alerts whenever there is a major policy change affecting your benefits. I am also making available a free, downloadable Senior Benefits Protection Guide that lists every form number, every phone number, every website, and every deadline you need to know. It is yours, no cost. Just click the link below. And one last thing, if you know someone, a parent, a neighbor, a friend from church, anyone who depends on Social Security, please share this video with them today, not tomorrow. Today. Because right now, there is someone sitting at their kitchen table, staring at a letter they do not understand, and they are running out of time. You might be the reason they find out they can fight back. I am Milena. I will see you in the next one. Stay informed. Stay protected.